many complete cycles will y equals 4 sine 4x minus 3 sine 6x complete on the interval 0 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 100? So, all right, this is what I would do. The last thing I want to do is graph that. And I know whenever I have like weird things like this, it's not going to be like, ooh, all pretty and stuff. It's going to be like this, where it kind of goes back and forth, almost like a heart rate thing. Of course, it's never going to look like that. I just don't know how to draw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to graph this in my calculator, right? And find out how long it takes for one period to occur. Okay, so if it goes up and down and then slows down and then repeats the process right around here, I'm going to find out what one period is. Once I have one period, say it's 10, it's probably not, but say it's 10, then what I'll do is I'll just divide 100 by 10 and get how many times it repeats. Watch it be 10. I actually don't know, but let's see what happens, and maybe it is 10, and maybe I've just wasted a whole bunch of your time. Not my time, YouTube money. Let's go to our calculator. Y equals 4, there's my sine, 4x, close parentheses, minus 3 sine 6x. Now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit window before I graph this. Actually, I'm sorry, zoom before I graph this, and zoom trig. Usually that gives me friendly pi-ish numbers. Maybe it will here, maybe it won't here. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Okay, I hated that. I hated that a lot. So why don't I not do that? And why don't I change like a window from like 0 to, let's do 2 pi. Just to see what happens. Maybe that window is not good enough. A lot of what we're doing is kind of like seeing a window that works for us. That is much better. Okay, that is much better. It looks like what's happening is we start kind of like at this weird thing, like at this almost negative cos looking thing, and then way up, then down, then way up, then kind of down, then it repeats at that guy right there. Now let's use common sense. Since the window I created was 0 to 2 pi, it seems to repeat right here in the middle of 0 and 2 pi. This is going to come as a shock, but that number in between 0 and 2 pi is pi. Now, if you're ever uncertain as to where things are, you can always do an intersect, or you can always do second calc and do a 0. But I'm fairly confident that that number right there is pi, since that number right there is 2 pi. So I'm going to go back and finish the problem, and I'll probably have to come back here again because the numbers are going to be gross. But now that I know that my period is pi, that makes the problem a whole lot easier. Okay, so as you can see, the period was pi. Okay, not pleasant, not fun, but the period was pi. Now, the last thing that I said before that I wanted to do is try to count how many cycles happened during that. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to run to my calculator and find out what 100 divided by pi is. Now, before I do that and circle my answer, it wants to know how many complete cycles will occur from the beginning to the end, from 0 to 100. Now, I'm definitely going to get a decimal here. No matter what decimal I get, I'm going to round down because I have to complete a cycle. So let's just make believe that I get some number like 9.99. Did I complete a 10th cycle? No. So the answer is just going to be 9. So that's not what's going on, but let's just make believe that is what's going on so I can go back to my calculator and see what happens. All right, so 100 divided by, that is not the button I wanted to hit. Start over. All right, so 100 divided by pi, which is second caret thing, is going to give me 31.83. Who cares? As I said previously, we're rounding this guy down. So let's round it down to 31, go back and circle the answer, and I'm done. Okay, so we got 31 point who cares, which means no matter what, we round down to 31 because we're completing cycles. If I were smart, I would have made 32 an option. But I guess I'm just not smart. I don't know what I'm doing. Either way, weird problem. Hope this helps.